This is Occupy Reno, the Real News. I'm Bob. Thank you for tuning in. The plea bargain system turned the once faulty justice system into a two-tiered system which favors the rich and powerful over truth, justice, and effectively abolishes free speech in court, where it is needed the most. And that's the subject of tonight's talk. Now, those who favor the current plea bargain system, judges, prosecutors, attorneys, police, and criminals, each have their own reasons for favoring this unjust system. Most are overlooking something basic. It increases crime, encourages disrespect for law enforcement and the courts, and is one of the underlying reasons for unrest in the nation today. It also is one of the drivers for the demand for increased taxes. Now, judges will often favor the plea bargain system because the judicial system is overburdened, and the plea bargain system reduces the amount of court time involved for each case. Prosecutors favor the plea bargain system as it increases the number of no contest pleas received by the court and makes their numbers look good, at least to a society which has adopted a get tough on crime stance. Attorneys in the public defender's office like the system, as the public defender is the low person on the totem pole, and by demonstrating how subservient they are to those in the prosecutor's office, they can brown-nose their way to a higher status job in the prosecutor's office. Private attorneys like the plea bargain system. It's one of their marketing tools. The people who went through the system know just how bad it is. Just about everyone is railroaded who believes themselves innocent and wind up with some sort of deal. Now, the attorneys won't use this exact language as it might upset the powerful political players who prefer an ignorant public. But essentially their marketing ploy is, well, you know how corrupt the current system is, so you need a paid attorney who will do something rather than ask the prosecutor how he wants his buttocks kissed. And as one local attorney recently started saying in one of his ads, it really is all about the money. Now, the police like the current system too, as it means avoiding going to court and having to pay officers for sitting in court. Until sometime in the 60s, it was pretty common for police officers to have to go to court on their own time. They weren't paid for it. My father was one of the police officers who paid for the court time. And I believe that's justified. Going to court, be it once or even more times on a major case, should be compensated. Most criminals like the plea bargain system because if and when they get caught, they can substantially reduce their penalty by pleading no contest. Those who don't like the plea bargain system are those who accidentally run into the criminal justice system. Well, who are these people? How can you accidentally run into the criminal justice system? That's absurd. Well, take that guy in New York the other day who ran out of gas in his jet ski, wound up swimming to shore, climbed a fence, crossed a couple of runways at JFK, went to a counter dripping wet and asked for help, and found himself arrested. He embarrassed the authorities and wound up trespassing in an airport. We got to teach him a lesson, arrest them. Also, those who get arrested for medical problems, those with epilepsy in particular, as well as other neurological problems, can find themselves arrested because they're acting oddly because of their seizure disorder. Now, those who believe they were improperly treated by the arresting or other officers don't like the plea bargain system either. Not being able to speak your piece almost guarantees that police errors and abusive behavior by either the arresting officers or others will never come to light. Plea bargains cover up police errors and abuses and makes prosecutors, defense attorneys, judges essentially complicit in cover-ups. I believe that many of the problems in California can be traced to the injustice of the police bargain system. Now, in the interest of disclosure, more than 20 years ago, I basically had to choose between dying in jail and pleading no contest to a misdemeanor charge I didn't believe myself guilty of, due to the plea bargaining system. I was held for 74 days in solitary before I finally caved to demands and couldn't get medical help for a medical condition. And part of that reason I believe I was held that way, and the attorneys refused to speak to me, was it helped cover up a cop busting me in the mouth. No, he didn't kiss me, he hit me in the face. And there were various officers, among others, watching that went down. For those who believe they're arrested in error, and another time I was arrested on a warrant issued in the wrong name and held 33 days before anyone would bother to check my fingerprints, and they found that I wasn't the person they were looking for. Those who believe there's an error made don't particularly like the plea bargaining system. Those who have a grievance and want to be heard don't like the plea bargaining system because they never get to talk about what their grievance is. As well as those who believe it encourages a police state, a totalitarian state. Now, the Supreme Court of Nevada did take a few steps about 5 or 6 years ago to make the plea bargaining system a little fairer by requiring attorneys to obtain a statement from every defendant. But does that happen all the time? I don't know. But even if it does, it still doesn't address the other problems and injustices inherent in the plea bargaining system. Major changes are needed in the justice system. The plea bargaining system assumes guilt and severely limits the rights of criminal defendants. For more information on this subject, you can go to our website and download a report on reestablishing justice. And that can be found at occupyreno.org/upload reestablishjustice.pdf. Thank you. This is The Real News.